Welcome to my channel. This is Clarityempress, the Empress of Clarity, here to do another collective energy reading. Hope all is well with my people. Thank you for coming to my channel. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for your thumbs up, your likes, and your comments. I appreciate all of you. So yeah, let's do it. Let's do this, guys and gals. All right, so I did a reading for you earlier and couldn't post it because we are in a Mercury retrograde shadow period. And I had so many interruptions that I attempted to pause the video and then stopped it, realizing when I started it again, that was a whole new video. I had to trash it, y'all. So I feel like that message was not meant. But the message that Spirit had on me was, what would you do if you weren't afraid? I believe a commenter mentioned that, but that's something I've been hearing for a large amount of my life. What would you do if you weren't afraid? That was the message. That was the channel message. And I pulled out some really nice cards on that, and it was like, excuse me, y'all. And I was like, why? So it just wasn't meant. I don't know what the problem was, but it wasn't meant. So we're going to start fresh. And I'm still working on my angles, y'all. Trying to make sure everything's clear. But yeah, so I'm going to start different. Spirit, give me a message. What's going on for my collective? What would they do? Or what could they do? Or what would they do if they weren't afraid, Spirit? Oh. All right, so the first thing I heard when I put the this is a 7 wands in reverse in the previous energy. I feel like somebody feels unsafe. They don't feel strong. Maybe they don't feel like they could defend themselves. This is somebody who feels weak, challenged, maybe even provoked. But I feel like somebody said, the first thing I heard was, I feel unsafe. Tell me more, Spirit. One at a time. There you go. Okay, so somebody's angry. Somebody a little disappointed, maybe by what they found out. I heard curiosity kills the cat. So I don't know what that's about. But tell me more, Spirit. The Chariot. Somebody on the move. Tell me more, Spirit. Somebody might have had Spirit says somebody might have had car trouble. But they back on the road now. Or they're about to be. Tell me more, Spirit. Something's changing. There's a shift in this energy. 7 of Wands, somebody felt weak or they felt unsafe, right? The Page of Swords is like curiosity killed the cat. Somebody is just not happy with present circumstances, maybe information that they found out. Their brain may be a little foggy, a little disarray. Mind might be a little, scrambled. Somebody could be very immature. And then the Chariot here. But in the hidden energy, it's like somebody's moving on from maybe whatever they felt unsafe about and whatever they found out they didn't like. Bottom of the deck, Queen of Cups. Oh, somebody says somebody's heading toward a Queen of Cups. Or their intuition is definitely kicking in. We got the King of Pentacles here in the challenge position. So I feel like somebody is challenged to keep their money, maintain their money, be stable, be confident. I just feel like somebody's having challenges with that. And then the Wheel of Fortune is changing. Something is changing. Maybe to this king's fortune or this queen's fortune, but overall, I feel like somebody is listening to the guidance of Spirit now. They're listening to the downloads. Kind of like what I just said when I said, I channeled what would I do, or what would you do, meaning in general or the collective, what would you do if you weren't afraid? But I feel like somebody's going with the guidance of spirit. All right, tell me more, spirit. Why the 7 of Wands, please? One at a time. Hierophant in reverse. Somebody's rebelling. Oh, tell me why. Somebody's changing loyalties. Somebody's rebelling. There's an injustice here. Yeah. So whatever this Page of Swords found out, or whatever's making that, it feels like an injustice. So some spirit says somebody was done dirty. They were done wrong. They were, I don't know, it could be somebody was punished for something they did or didn't do, or punished unjustly. You know, this is like somebody who got something they didn't deserve, but they got it anyway. Tell me more about the Chariot, spirit. Yes, we got 2 cards and moving on. So somebody in the hidden energy, somebody was done wrong in a situation they felt unsafe. Their loyalties have been challenged. This is like corporal punishment I'm getting. Like somebody, I feel like this spirit says somebody was abused. And it may have been a child. Girl, boy, doesn't matter, but a child. Somebody was abused. And now they want to move on. So this may be an older child. It could be a younger child too, but I feel like it's an older child. And it could be that the parents, they're separating, and one is moving on and taking the child. I don't know. But I feel like Spirit said abuse. I feel like it's abuse here. Oh, that's why they feel unsafe. Got it. I'm like, why? I'm hearing abuse. I get that. But yeah, somebody feels unsafe in a marriage, in a home, in a high level commitment, and they want to break this up. It's time for it to be over. It's time to move on to peaceful water. Somebody needs help. And I think that's also why there's an instability of finances here as a challenge position. Tell me more, Spirit. Tell me more. Oh, yeah. This is a major ending, an exit, and that's the challenge, how to end it. You know, if you watch my channel, I tell you stories, experiences. That's how I channel the best, right? So this reminds me of a time when I had suffered abuse. This is more than 25 years ago, right? Shoot, maybe more than that. It was way more than 25 years ago. Anyway, I felt unsafe. I had to end it. But the challenge was how to end it. And I feel like a lot of abuse sufferers experience how to end it. That is the challenge. How do I let it go? How do I get beyond this and still be stable and still land on my feet? I personally had to come clean with my job, and they transferred me from one state to another. Came clean with my parents, so one came and got me. Came clean with friends. They understood. So I didn't have a hard transition. And I just saw 7/17, which is my wedding date on my phone. So it was, how do I do it? And I didn't have a playbook. I didn't have any counselors to talk to. I didn't know who to go to, but I went to individuals that needed to know on a need to know basis and asked for support, and I got it. So something is changing in a positive way with the Wheel of Fortune, but something is certainly ending for someone. But I feel like this situation involves children. For me, it did not. So somebody's in a relationship where they feel unsafe and a child is involved. So whoever's in this situation, once they leave, which is in the hidden energy, once they end it and stand on that, because you got this can't be one of those situations. Now they say the average abuse victim goes back they leave after 6 or 7 times, but Spirit is saying no, it's time to move on and let it go and work on yourself. What is the bottom of the deck? Yeah, Page of Pentacles. There's no more investment here. There's no more new beginnings here. That's it. Somebody is following their intuition now. They're choosing their own cup of love. They're choosing self-preservation, self-love, honoring themselves, and no more new beginnings. That's it. We're done with that. This is the energy of confusion. This is ending of a cycle too. Like, no, we're not going back. Because the Wheel of Fortune is here. That's an ending, right? Even at the bottom of the deck, the 10 of Pentacles is in reverse. So this is ending a family situation. It's over. Let me just put this aside because I saw it. It's over. So the abuse, wow. I didn't expect this today. And that goes back to the original channeling. What would you do if you weren't afraid? Somebody has to get the courage up to move on. And they need to move on quickly. I feel like that's why the Chariot is here, because this is moving with passion, speed, drive, inspiration. Oh my gosh, motivation. Somebody is like, I need my mind to be peaceful. All this injustice. This is giving a lot of calamities, a lot of drama, constant new threats. You know what I mean? Like constant new threats. This is getting off the hamster wheel for good. This is like, I don't want to take another spin. I don't want to keep going in circles no more. I don't want to waste my time anymore. I'm wasting my time. The home is broken. I've been betrayed, defeated, all of that. This is letting it go. But this is rooted in abuse. I will say that. Like, spirit is, that's why the first thing I heard is I feel unsafe. So this is definitely rooted in abuse. That's, it's amazing how spirit be bringing stuff together and then dropping those words. I feel like, what am I, Claire? No. Clear cognizant. Yeah, that hearing that you hear, like, that's not a sound. It's just the words. Spirit gives it to you. And I'm like, holy crap. And this is reminiscent of me almost 30 years ago. But I was safe. When I left, I had work, 8 of Pentacles. So I feel like what the spirit is showing me, that who's ever leaving a domestic violence situation, or it could be financial abuse, mental abuse, it's some sort of abuse situation. Whoever is leaving that situation is going to flourish when they leave. They'll be able to work on themselves. They'll be able to go to school. This is like somebody whose mate stopped them from going to class. I don't know. They kept the Wi-Fi wouldn't stay on, so they couldn't finish their courses. And it was just constant struggles, constant chaos and conflict. Now it's like once you leave, you can stabilize yourself. But that's the challenge. How? I just feel like regardless of how, it's going to happen. For me, it was a domestic violence situation, but I had already made up my mind that even if it is, I'll just have to fight my way through it. But that was what I chose. Somebody here may be trying to just run, quickly and fast. I didn't run. They went to jail. I didn't run. I then picked up and just left eventually, but I didn't run. Somebody's in a situation where they feel like they have to run. Like they literally got to pack their car with whatever they can carry. They can't carry furniture, but they can take their things with them, and then they could just move on. That's the vibe I'm getting from all of this. I feel like I'm like, where is my, this is going to be an issue. Excuse me, y'all. I get my little deck. So yeah, I feel like this is a bad situation with a happy ending thus far. It seems promising that someone is making a choice and not circling back, but really put it into an end. And this also links up with that. What? Pluto retrograde, where these is major death and rebirth situations. Like, there's no more of that going back. Like, how many times we got to keep doing this? How many times? If you feel unsafe, do you want to keep feeling unsafe? And then it's impacting children? Mm-mm. That is not cool. Tell me more, Spirit. Look at God. Somebody is leaving. Change is here. The bags is packed. The car is packed. There's luggage in the car. The guys out there bringing the bags to the car. Somebody is leaving. And whoever this is, I'm clapping for you. Kudos for you. Kudos for you. Because it's a humongous step of bravery to release the things that hurt you and harm you. Like, it's nothing to be taken lightly. It's not a small feat, because there's so many things, so many circumstances, so many degrees of it. Everyone's experience is different. I look back at mine, and was I scared and terrified? Yes. But was I willing to go? Yes. Was I willing to go back? Absolutely not. But I endured a few cycles in between. Some people's situation is they try to go and then they get pulled back in. My situation was he was always promising to go and then he would never go. And I told him, if I say it, I mean it. But everybody don't have that strength. Everybody doesn't have that mindset or feel that safe or have people to help them until they know who they can trust, right? So everybody's degree of severity is different. I feel like my severity was light, but it was enough to teach me a lesson in injustice. It was enough to tell me, I don't think you want to go there again. Because the next guy I dated after that was a test for me. He started exhibiting similar qualities and I ran from that situation. I said, oh, no, no, no. I don't really think this is going to work. And that guy was like, oh, I can change. Or maybe it's another guy. And I was like, really? I don't care what you think it is. I feel like you're miserable. And I already came from that. And I don't want any more. Now, I didn't grow up with abuse. So sometimes when you grow up with abuse, you're conditioned to keep receiving abuse, even if it's not from the same people. And a lot of us need to unpack that about ourselves so that we can start healing. And we can start to feel better because no amount of abuse and from anybody is ever okay. Tell me more, Spirit. Oh, that, see? See? This right here, I feel like one of them California people. This right here, that's 777. And we got what? A 7 here. There's another 7. Where is it? I got 2 7s on the board. I feel like I had 2 7. Now why am I tripping? Yeah, the 7 of Wands, 7 of the Chariot, excuse me. But this sudden wealth, 777. So somebody might be seeing a lot of 7s. Could be 777, 2 7s, 3, 4, 5 7s. Somebody's seeing a lot of 7s. There's change in the air. And you will receive sudden wealth when you go. So the biggest part, the hardest part is the release, the walking away, the severing of ties. That part's the hard part. Life gets progressively better once you're free. And beside myself, I've heard people say that. Like, I got a job, I got hired, I was able to go every day, I got my kids into a decent school. Like, life changes exponentially when you feel like you don't have that trauma looming over you. Now, do you have residual trauma? Yes. Can you have CPSD? I can't even say it. CPTSD, which is a complex post-traumatic. You know what I'm trying to say, y'all. I'm not even gonna try to. I'm tongue-tied. So somebody is challenged with their communication right now. I feel like there's, I want to say throat chakra, but I feel like it's more about, it is communication, but it's more about clearing your thoughts, right? Getting it clear what your intent is, what your goals are. I think part of moving on is knowing, if you can know what your next step would be, or what you would like it to be. What do you imagine if you were healthy? Again, what would you do if you weren't afraid to do it? Oh my God, look at Spirit. That's why you were trying. Man, Spirit, you trying to lead me back. Tell me more, Spirit. Ooh, this thing over. This is over. This is a 19, and one of the 9 is a 10. We got the 10, the 10 of swords, and we got the Wheel of Fortune. And we also got the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So this is definitely domestic violence, family situation. Could even be financial violence, but it's over. Financial abuse, excuse me. It's over. It's just now the next steps. Sudden wealth, it means blessings are about to flow. Opportunities, I can't even talk. Opportunities will be coming your way when you release. And it's going to feel magical when it happens. How many more? Yeah. I was looking at that card and I was like, somebody abused a child, y'all. Somebody is abusing their child or children, but there's children involved. Somebody is abused. This child is not receiving justice. Yeah, and this is happening in the marital home or the high level committed home. And bottom of the deck, journey. Yeah, somebody's on a journey. They're leaving. Another 10. They're leaving. This is over, done. So somebody getting a ride to the train or the plane, and then they on their next leg of their journey. I work with kids. I work with parents. And I've come across a few different scenarios in my time. And the saddest part is I can't help everybody. I can't fix everybody. I can't address everybody the way I would want to address. I can't make it perfect. I can't fix it. But I do love a success story. I do love when somebody makes it, in some form or fashion. They made it. They persevered, right? And not everybody is able. A child is, depending on their circumstances, the perseverance may come from the adults around them. They're not in control of that, right? And somebody has to persevere on behalf of a child. Wow. You know what's crazy? It just hit me, but this is not a domestic violence situation, but a new associate of mine texted me that she was able to get her son's name changed from the father because the child no longer wants to be associated with the father. The father was not physically abusive, but he was a bit on the narcissistic spectrum, wherever that is, right? And he was very threatening, and it was a lot going on with him and the family. And so she had to separate. And then once she separated, he made idle threats to the child. So those child that still sits with that child, right? And he doesn't want any association with his father. So I'm feeling like part of this is the shift and the change. Like this is what's in the energy. Like people are ending. This Pluto retrograde is not playing with people. We're now ending things and there's no return. When we're in this bodysuit, right? And it's over. We don't get to return back to that body. Now, we could incarnate. If you believe in that, I do. And if you believe in that, you can incarnate even back into your own bloodline. But you don't get to come back into the same life, into the same body, and have the same experiences. Certain things, when it's over, there is no return. I feel like there has been an abuse of power here by someone in the home. And I'm not going to say it was the man. or necessarily the woman. I don't know. I just know a child is involved because she also, I just looked at her and I got throw the rock, hide the hand. So this Queen of Cups could not be as intuitive as we think. She could just be, fronting. That's not necessarily what I got initially, but I'm just saying the possibilities of who is abusing this child. It could be an aunt, or uncle, or a cousin, a grandparent. It could be anybody. But somebody doesn't feel safe. And this is a big house, which means a lot of people could be in this house. But there's an abuse of power and abuse of children. There's domestic violence here. It's going to end well because it's going to end. That's why. It's going to end. And I'm getting a permanent ending with this coffin. Not necessarily death, but that is a challenge because maybe somebody's on their deathbed and they could be on their way out. There could be the abuser that might not survive. But there's sudden wealth here. So I don't know who this could be. You take it how it resonates, put it that way. I'm just reading the energy. But there's sudden wealth. There's the Eight of Pentacles, and there is the Wheel of Fortune. Somebody is about to get blessed. This is my likely outcome column. This is some extra cards here, y'all. This right here is the likely outcome. 777. There is change. There's a blessing on the way. And I'm excited for whoever this is for. Please comment in the comment section if you know, if you experience this, if you understand what I'm talking about. But this is beautiful energy. This is an ending to injustice. This is an ending to injustice. Woo! Please, whoever you are out there, please take the leap of faith and talk to those you can trust. And sometimes you can trust a stranger than you can people you know. Give me a final message on this too, Spirit. Oh, you gave me two. I'll take it. What we got? Well, we got friendship and happiness. What would you do if you weren't afraid to do it? You would seek your happiness. You need to seek support of your friends. There are people that are rooting for you, I would say. They're rooting for you. They would give you the coat off their back. You know what I'm saying? The clothing off their back, or feed you when you're hungry, or house you when you're homeless. Some people just have a network and they know where to send you, where to go. Here, go over to this church for sustenance. Go over here and sign up for this. This list will give you housing. This is a domestic violence shelter. This place takes care of women and children, or men and children. You know what I'm saying? Spirit said you got to go seek your happiness. You got to let this harsh energy go. You got to protect yourself. If you feel unsafe, it's time to rebel from the unsafety by moving on. Whether you move on in the dead of the brightness of the sun or the dead of night, whatever way is safest for you, safe passage for you, go. Run and don't look back. Don't feel bad. Don't make contact again. An abuser is an abuser. Stop. Don't feel bad for them. Put that energy into yourself. Love yourself. Have empathy for what you experience. Hurt people don't have to hurt people. They can make choices. We all have choices. There's nothing holding us behind our backs. You know what I mean? We're not being held at gunpoint when we decide to go abuse somebody. It's a choice. And even if you've been abused, you can choose not to carry that out. They're not owed your compassion or your empathy. They did you dirty. Let them go. I think I have it in my in my about my channel section. If I'm not mistaken, I have the suicide prevention, I think abuse hotline, and something else there for prevention. If you don't know anybody, make a call. Even if it's the suicide line and you don't feel suicidal, call and say, I need resources. When you don't know where else to go and who to go to, ask for support. I had to do it. You need to pull out that warrior. This is the bottom of the deck. That warrior spirit for protection. Listen, I went to my little, and I won't say little because I felt like the severity was smaller than it could have been, right? I talked to my bosses. They transferred me. They said, well, don't worry. You go to that state, you'll still have a job. I said, okay. When I landed, I went to HR, got my job. Talked to the landlord. He released me from my lease. Talked to my mom. She picked up she rented a U-Haul. We packed up what we could, left behind what we couldn't. I took my tail up out of there, okay? Not to go back. And my life has been a blessing ever since because I chose me. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard. Not for me so much because I found my village. I had a village, right? But it's hard when you don't. I get it. Well, but what's harder is staying. What's harder is not taking a leap of faith, a chance. Not harder is not asking for help when you need it. Imagine, what would you do if you weren't afraid anymore? You would get that help. You would start that business. You would get that job. You would, provide your child with better schooling or a better accommodations to live in. You wouldn't be living in fear if you weren't afraid, right? So channel that inner warrior. Channel that inner warrior. Pull on the strength of that warrior and seek support. Whew. All right, y'all. I'm about to come out this energy and give y'all another reading on something hopefully totally different. Now, again, I don't make it up. Yeah, I just pull the energy as spirit gives it to me. But if you need a reading, my email is in the description below. You email me and we'll go from there. Please remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel, comment in the comment section and let me know if this resonates with you. I appreciate you all. Peace.